Fabuloso.
Embarrassing, right? It hurts to watch. It starts by some classmates or friends picking on you. Then you slowly notice that your coworkers steal your ideas. Your wife has left you, and you're about to lose the Iron Throne. Well, maybe the last one's not that widespread. But whether you are making a school presentation or commanding a huge fantasy army, everyone wants to be respected. Gaining respect is not an overnight process. But with these simple steps, you can get there. 1. Respect people and be respected. It's a two-way street after all. We've all seen teachers or workers that try to put themselves up by bringing others down. Many people believe that the fastest way to get respect is by yelling, insulting, or scaring others. However, it may lead to annoyance or fear, but never to respect. If you want to be heard, listen to others. Don't check your phone or watch, and don't talk over them. Everyone deserves to be heard, even if you don't always agree with someone's ideas or opinions. Talk to them as an equal, and don't try to force respect on them. Let it happen naturally. We've all encountered it in our lives. One of the most prominent examples is teachers and professors. Pay attention to how kids treat Professor Severus Snape and Headmaster Albus Dumbledore in the Harry Potter films. While Snape does his best to put the kids down, scare them, or lower their grades and house points, we see little to no respect from the students. They laugh at him, misbehave, and wonder why he is even employed. On the other hand, Headmaster Albus Dumbledore shows respect and speaks as an equal to everybody, whether they are a super powerful wizard or an 11-year-old boy. In return, everybody in Hogwarts respects and loves their headmaster, even at his questionable times. 2. Respect yourself. Think about a person that you have enormous respect for. How they stand, how they talk, how they behave with others, what kind of jokes they make. Don't put yourself down, and don't use a lot of self-deprecating humor. After all, if you think that about yourself, what should others think about you? Don't apologize for absolutely every little thing. Save your apologies for the appropriate moment, and stop using the word sorry for every little thing that goes wrong in the workplace. You don't need to use the word sorry when disagreeing, speaking out, or not wanting to do something. Also, actions speak louder than words. Fix the problem, and everybody will remember that instead of the mistake. Look at Elle Woods from the movie Legally Blonde. At the beginning of the movie, she doesn't think too much of herself. She sees herself just as a stereotypical pretty girl, just an addition to her boyfriend. But throughout the movie, she learns how to break from the status quo and finds value for herself. When Elle realizes that she has as much reason to be at Harvard as anybody else, she excels at her studies and even wins a case. 3. Stand your ground and set up strong boundaries. Have you ever seen a person that is so nice that they never say no, and others use it to their advantage? Pay attention to how fast kindness can be turned into a burden. Remember, your time and resources are not infinite. Know their value and think about how you want to spend them. Be helpful. Be there for your friends and colleagues, but keep your own needs in mind. You're not a tequila. You can't make everyone happy. And remember, your boundaries don't have to be very strict or forced. You can simply refuse to answer emails or work phone calls on the weekends, or do someone else's work. But most importantly, once you've set them, stand your ground. Explain that it's your days off work, you are busy with housework, or that you simply prefer doing work in your work time. I believe there's never been a better example of this than Daenerys Targaryen from the Game of Thrones. Revisit the first season and watch how she learns her value and stands her ground against her brother. She starts to have no say in what's happening, being told around, commanded by her brother Viserys. And she is not taken seriously by her husband or his people. It takes her a little time, but she learns not to let others manipulate her. She assesses her own worth as the future queen, leader of Dothraki and Dragon Mother. She takes the reins and asserts herself. So in the worst times of your weakness, just imagine yourself as the queen of the 7 realms and the mother of dragons.
Dracarys.
4. Walk that talk. Have you ever met a person who talks that talk, but when it comes to walking, don't be that person. People will remember when you don't follow through on your promises or brag about things that are not happening. Remember what I've said earlier. Actions speak louder than words. So if you've promised to do something, be sure to commit to it. If somebody asks you to do something, it's better to say no than to promise something you can't do. Think about a person in your life that follows through on every word they say. We tend to see these people as responsible, strong, and trustworthy. People like that get our respect effortlessly. 5. Body language. Even when you feel at your worst, it's important to act like you're the best. We are constantly perceived by other people. Our instincts teach us to make an assessment of another person in mere seconds. Think what people will think when they just have a glance at you. There are multiple simple things that you can do to look more confident and respectful. Check your posture. Shy people try to make themselves as small as possible. While standing up straight, you take the space that you deserve to be seen. Eye contact. Good eye contact tells others that you are interested in what they are saying, but can also be intimidating. In that case, look directly between their eyes or at a spot next to one of them. Don't fidget, and keep your hands relaxed. Even if the explanation is too much coffee or excitement, most interpret fidgeting as a sign of anxiety. Pay attention to where your hands are. Put them on the table or on your legs to avoid hiding them in your pockets. Slow down. Most importantly, relax. Slow down. You don't need to rush. If you believe that what you want to say is worth time, then it is. Slow your hand gestures down. Make appropriate pauses. Speak clearly. And take your time to form the sentences. Look no further than the royal family for inspiration. Most of the royal family's members have been trained for public appearances since childhood, and it shows. Check Netflix's show The Crown and pay attention to Queen Elizabeth II's body language. Even when faced with extreme difficulties or talking to a powerful person, she holds herself immaculately, and even with her status, she had people that didn't think much of her. Look at this scene where the Queen has a conversation with her uncle, the Duke of Windsor. Even when he tried to attack and belittle her, she commands respect and holds herself perfectly. I assume that most of us are not royalty, so we don't need to go that far, but some tips here and there can be really helpful nonetheless. 6. Control your emotions. Now, some emotions here or there can be helpful, but if you are letting your inner Hulk take the wheel every week, you are in big trouble. There's a huge difference between responding and reacting. Your reactions are fueled by emotions, such as anger, irritation, passion. These usually come fast and strong. Your instincts take over, and you don't think about the consequences. No matter what your opinion is, people see strong emotions as a sign of weakness. On the other hand, you can focus on responding. When you respond, you take your time to acknowledge strong emotions, understand the reason, and choose the correct reply. If you calmly explain your point of view, using good arguments, not fueled by emotion, you are more likely to get positive feedback. Remember to not ignore your emotions, but simply find a way to navigate them in the right direction. And most importantly, don't forget about your needs. If somebody or something upsets you, find a way to communicate it. People will respect you for being able to find a civilized solution even in the hardest situation. If you are unsure how to do that, look at the aforementioned Hulk. Watch his whole journey from being completely disconnected to his emotions in the first Avengers movie. This is a great example of reaction. You turn into a huge green monster, acting on the simplest of impulses. Bruce Banner finally accepts his emotional side and finds a way to coexist in Avengers Endgame. That's responding. You acknowledge your emotions, find a reason, and a solution. Have you noticed how much people admire and respect Professor Hulk? And finally, the best advice we can give: take good time to improve yourself. Make yourself worthy of your own and others' respect. Not sure how? Subscribe to our channel, and remember, we are all still improving.